Welcome to another edition of Ego on Break. I'm your host, Jay Andrews, and always joined by the madman here, Logan Creed.
Yeah.
Let's adjust this just a hair. There we go. We can see each other. So,
I could see you without the camera.
hey, folks. So, yeah. So, let's talk wrestlers with face paint. What do you think?
Sounds like a winner.
Sounds like a winner, he says. Most memorable face painted wrestler. Just when you think face painted wrestler, who pops up?
Two people for me. Well, three, I guess, technically. LOD and Ultimate Warrior.
Okay, so definitely a WWF vibe. Even though LOD was around in other places, but
I would have said original is Road Warriors.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I'm definitely on boat with Ultimate Warrior. Of course, the other one that I think of, if I'm having to pick two, is Doink the Clown.
Yeah, I guess.
What can I say?
Yeah.
I mean, he was face paint, you know.
Yeah, clearly.
The most modern guy you could think of with face paint, who would it be?
Finn Balor when he's doing the demon.
Yeah, yeah. First one I thought of was Usos. You know, because they kind of got the half face paint.
They don't do it no more.
They don't do it
now
anymore.
they're I want to be street thugs.
Well, it's been a while.
Yeah,
So,
you really need to turn on some wrestling. Or not, really, you know.
Give me your 5 favorites.
Okay, singles, tags,
Whatever.
Okay, well, I can knock it out in 3 then. I still say Ultimate Warrior.
Yep.
Sting.
Okay.
Muda. And so it's kind of a tie for me because I like both tag teams, but Demolition or Road Warriors.
Yep. 5 for me, Doink. That's number 5. Got to give it to him. Just it's colorful, it's bright, it's a clown. I mean, how can you not like it? 2 is Vampiro.
Yeah.
Always dug that face paint. 3, Papa Shango. It was really simple, really basic.
The skull.
Yeah, but I dug it. Number 2 would probably be Ultimate Warrior, just because it was bright, it was colorful. And I wanted to say Sting, like Surfer Sting.
So that's what I liked. I didn't care for the crow thing.
Yeah, but
boring.
just slightly got surpassed by Ultimate Warrior. And I think just mainly because I saw it more. And number 1, Smash from Demolition. Huge fan of his face paint.
Blush.
Thank you. So, I know you've painted your face before. What's it like being a wrestler with painted face?
It's not bad till you're sweating and if you don't have the right paint and it runs in your damn eyes and you can't see nothing. That part sucked. The one guy thought it'd be funny if he just grabbed me by the face and did this.
And smeared it in your
put
face.
It literally right in my eyes, and like the match had to go short because I couldn't see a damn thing. Like I was blind as bad. I'm under.
How thoughtful was he?
Yeah, Roosevelt's jackass. Like
just a quick ramble. Ramble off a couple of guys with face paint that maybe people forget about. You have any?
No, there's a problem. I might have forgot about him.
Well, Missing Link.
No.
Like he's definitely a guy with face paint.
Kamala.
Kamala. I was gonna say I don't know how many people would really think about Kamala, even though Kamala was painted up.
Hell, even his belly had a banana or a moon, depending on which person you asked.
Another guy was Umaga. You know, I think a lot of people don't think about him.
I like Umaga. I was a huge fan.
And slightly just etching out, just like his face paint could have been really, really cool. And maybe I just missed a lot of it. Was the Boogeyman. Like I thought he had, hints of good designs. But I think overall, if you want to, talk about the guy that had by far, he's probably got the best face paint ever, had to be Goldust. I mean, he's changed it over time to where it's more elaborate. It's got different designs, different inspirations.
And now he looks like Bumblebee.
Yeah. So,
he does.
So I think there's a lot of cool.
What was his other character he did?
Well, he did the Black Rain in TNA.
Yeah, Black Rain's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about 7. He did it for like 7 seconds.
Yeah,
so
he wore a whole white head and
I
had
still
like red
thought that would
eyes
have
or
been
something.
cool. I would love to know where they were going with that, and they never did nothing.
Yep. Yeah, I thought the Black Rain thing was kind of cool. It was like the darker side of Goldust and bring out the rat.
Yeah,
so that was cool. Man, I was trying. There's so many guys that like I was just thinking about, but like Halloween and Damien 666.
Yeah.
They had some cool face paint. You got Bestia 666 now.
Ain't that his son?
It is.
Okay.
Or as far as I know, it is.
Well, that's what I've always been told.
Yeah.
That's why I asked.
So, they have... Bestia has some awesome... Like, he got some awesome designs. Chance Prophet has a... he's a guy that's been painting his for a while, and he's got some really cool looks to his face paint.
Yeah, it's the skull. I mean, that's basically what I did with a skull.
Yeah.
It's not simple by any damn it, especially if you're doing it yourself.
Right, right.
I'll tell you, I watched a documentary this weekend on... the guy had unscarred on his stomach. Me and you both watched the documentary before.
Nick Mondo?
Nick Mondo, okay. But he made another documentary called...
The Trade?
The Trade.
Yeah.
And it is really good.
I haven't seen it yet.
But the kid that did Little Nick Mondo started painting his head totally freaking white.
Yep.
And it had sick here. And dude, that was some of the coolest face paint I've ever seen was his.
Rory Mondo, Little Mondo, is now in Chikara.
Yeah,
he's Rory Gulak, and it's actually Drew Gulak's little brother.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
That's cool.
Like they were saying that Drew and Rory would go to the CZW shows, and like Little Mondo was like 10 years old, and the crowd would be like "Elfu Little Mondo" and stuff like that. So just tells you what kind of crowd was there when you say "Elfu" to a 10-year-old. But I said he was one of the bigger heels there, and he was in the crowd.
Oh, he was Elfuing them back too.
Yeah. So
the movie's really good.
Yeah,
real good.
Well, that's kind of what he does.
Oh, no, I'm just saying. I mean, if you think you're going into a regular documentary, don't. It is, but it ain't.
I listened to an interview with him. He just did an interview with, and this one, yeah, and he was saying he didn't really have a feel. He just wanted it to go how it went. So it was cool. And Sick Nick, like, okay, him and Al Snow both, they just had the words across their head.
Yeah.
But
Did
I mean,
you know he was trained by Al Snow?
I didn't until I listened to that.
I was like, holy shit! I was like, so the word part that makes sense.
Yeah, I was like, it makes perfect sense. Yeah. But who was it? Hakushi that had the Japanese writing on his face?
Yeah, he had like a restaurant tattoo on his back. Even he said that. I just mean.
So, well, you said Great Muda.
Yeah.
What version is it? Like, he's had a couple of different versions of face paint.
I'm gonna go with the last one he did. The one that scared the hell out of people.
That had like the mask tied in.
It was a mask, but it was paint too.
Yeah. Yeah. Why do you think that maybe there's not a lot of face painted wrestlers anymore? I mean, I know there's a few here and there.
Well, a lot of it's art. If you're a shitty artist, you don't want it on your face.
Yeah, I guess so.
Because they said like Animal couldn't. I mean, they said Hawk. It was either Hawk or Animal. One of them wasn't a very good artist.
Yeah.
And the other one would always be like, oh damn it, that looks like crap, and they'd have to go over and fix it. I think it was Animal actually was the good artist, and Hawk sucked.
Well, I was watching.
I might be backwards.
Goldust talk about it. He said, I can't paint. Like, I can't paint on somebody else, but for some reason I can do my own face.
Yeah.
Like, so he's like, I'm not an artist. He's like, I can't draw stick figures, but I can do these elaborate face paintings.
When we were kids and we went to do Halloween, like my mom always painted my brother and my face because we were broke. We didn't have money for Halloween costumes, so we made shit at home.
Yeah.
And you could buy face paint pretty cheap,
right,
a couple of
dollars.
bucks.
Yeah.
So I learned that since I was a kid.
That's cool. Got anything else you want to talk about? Like, thought this would go in a different way, but it's really, once you kind of name them, what do you talk about? I mean, what about having face paint? Some guys you can kind of still see their expressions and things like that, but you have some guys that maybe that takes away. So, for you, when you wrestled, did you have to react differently than you would without the face paint?
It was actually different because I always wore a mask.
Yeah.
And you're really playing more with your body language, and with your face out, your more facial expressions.
Right.
So it's definitely different. It depends on who you are and how you react. I mean, to me, I had to react differently. I didn't realize it at first, but when I saw it, I was like, yeah, I got to do this, that, and the other.
Did you have to, did you get different reactions from the crowd, whether you had the leather mask on versus the face paint? Like, how did the crowd take it? Did they was it still as scary, or was it scarier, or was there not really any difference?
I think it was because I took the mask off as like a dedication to my grandmother, and I had the face paint on underneath, and it wasn't a skull at first. It was like a crucifix actually going down my face, and it was just a dedication to my grandma. And so it wasn't. I ain't gonna say it wasn't scary, but it was definitely weird as hell.
Right.
So yeah, I got a little bit of different reaction.
I got you. All right, let's talk tag team. I know that you had Demolition, right? That was a tag team that had painted face. You had the Road Warriors.
Faces of Fear.
Faces of Fear. No, Ming and Barbarian.
Barbarian. One. And,
I know Barbarian and Warlord had.
Warlord had face paint.
But did they have a name?
Well, I thought they were Faces of Fear. They wasn't Faces. What were they?
Powers of Pain.
Powers of Pain. That's right. I'm sorry. I had
Faces of Fear was Ming and Barbarian in WCW. Yeah. Any others? Can you think of any others that had face paint?
Most of the guys in Ring of Honor that do the
War Machine.
War Machine, they do face paint.
Yeah, I mean, I just watched the War Machine this morning, so
yeah, I like watching them in the Briscoe fight.
The Tama Tonga has awesome face paint.
I'll tell you a guy that did it a couple of times, and I mean they didn't do it often, but Dusty Rhodes did it a few times.
Did he?
Yeah, he would come out with the Dixie flag on his face, which nowadays probably give him a lot of hate.
Yeah.
But also, damn it, Freebirds did it.
Yep. When they where they fight the
I think it was
LOD.
It may have been.
Yeah.
But the same thing. It was a Dixie flag on their face.
Yeah.
So you know, like I say, nowadays that might not work too well.
Right.
But, you know.
Also, another guy on the Indies is Gregor James, and he kind of does like a half face paint thing. Yeah. It's really cool.
What was the dude that sniffed me? And he did it.
I went blank.
Freaked me out.
Yeah, the guy from Australia.
Yeah.
Man.
Sorry, I can't remember your name, but you smelled me, so that was.
He's like the something cowboy.
Mm-hmm.
I know his
I'm
name.
so bad with names, dude.
My bad.
But anyhow.
Look him up. He's on Life and Headlock there.
Yeah.
Just scroll through till you see a guy with a painted face, so and you can find out about him.
You see him sniff me.
Yeah, that was pretty weird.
Yes, it was.
Shoot, man, I guess you're thinking back, maybe there's more guys out there on the Indies doing it than you think about.
Some people did it just everyone. I even remember Lex Luger did it one time when he tagged with Sting.
Yeah.
And they fought. Probably LOD if I had to take a wild guess. I guess it was like, you got your war paint, we're going to have ours.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And then the Sting and Warrior had their tag team.
The Blade Runners.
The Blade Runners. And I think Warrior's makeup has always been damn near the whole, one thing. I think his never pretty much changed. But in every character he ever did, he had face paint.
Yeah. Makes you wonder, like, what made guys like him and Sting, like, stick to face paint?
Mask. They made money on mask.
Well, I mean, back in the day, I don't see them selling masks. Like, back in '78, I don't see them.
Here's your thing. If you have fans, like football fans, they'll paint their belly and their whole damn body as certain things. But, I mean, wrestling fans did it too.
Yeah, I guess so.
I never saw a Doink the Clown fan in the audience painted a Doink. Did you?
No, but seen a lot of them on the Independents.
Yeah, well, sadly in the Independents, but yeah.
Like, speaking of that, like, you hear a lot of people,
Hiding right,
yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
But, like, guys are talking about, like, the Doinks, or, the fake Doinks and that. And, like, I'm such a Doink fan. Like, I've really considered buying into that gimmick, like, not WWE but like buying the stuff to do it, and do the son of Doink. Like, that way I'm not ripping off Doink. I'm not telling anybody, hey, I was the real guy in WWF or whatever.
Yeah, it was just a fake son. That's much better.
Yeah, but I'm not claiming to be him, is what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
This is a legitimate child.
It's to pay homage. I'm the nephew. I'll be cousin
Third
Doink.
cousin to the neighbor next door.
Cousin Doink.
2 miles down the road.
Yeah, I'll be like
I saw him one time driving down the street.
I'll be a scuffling hillbilly Klingon. That's what I'll be. I'll be cousin Doink. So,
you could always be his lumberjack gimmick. What was it?
Big Josh.
Yeah, that's it. They
Could
said
be
he was killing
Big
people
J.
with that damn, what was the axe handle he had? They said he was killing people with that damn
with the axe handle.
They beating the shit out of folks.
It's crazy, man. We let thing take the bombs away from Doink, or the whoopee cushion or whatever. You know, the sit down splash off the top rope.
Hell no.
Shit,
It looked painful.
I'd rather tell you him than earthquake, though.
Yokozuna. That's a lot of spandex coming at your chest. Just sat on by me, and hell, I'm 250.
Painful memories. Painful. Well, speaking of guys with face paint, our last video we talked about SterDust.
God, yes we did.
And I have a little correction. I thought that Jim Sterling and SterDust was the same person.
What the hell is it? That his cousin down the road too?
Jim Sterling has went on record to say that SterDust is his client. But his client, SterDust, has accepted our invitation to come to Pro Wrestling Ego. Said that there's a slight chance you'll see him December 2nd, but you would definitely see him January the 6th at the Hideaway, Jackson, Mississippi. So, I guess we're going to get to see what a real winner looks like when SterDust accepts our invitation and comes to Pro Wrestling Ego.
So we get to see all that spandex in person.
Are you excited?
I've never been really excited about seeing a big dude in spandex besides me, myself, but he got me interested.
Definitely has piqued my curiosity. I don't know if he's going to show us what a real winner looks like, but I guess he's going to show us what SterDust looks like. So,
back to Disturbia.
Yeah, I heard that's his finishing move.
Disturbia?
Disturbia. So, SterDust, looking forward to meeting you, sir. I think. And we'll see what wrestlers in Pro Wrestling Ego think about him, you know, basically saying that they're losers.
Yeah, his purple presence will be known all throughout the universe, huh?
It'll be, yeah, something else. So, well, speaking of SterDust, there was SterDust that had face paint.
That's true, too.
So I think that may be an inspiration for SterDust.
That means all the Rhodeses did face paint.
Yeah, at least once.
Yeah.
So,
that's right, baby, right here in the Mid-South.
Which one came first?
It had to be Dusty. He's the father.
I was going to say SterDust or Stardust. Like, was Stardust, was he in, what's the word?
Universally created?
No, was SterDust an inspiration for Stardust, or was Stardust an inspiration for SterDust?
Well, considering he just now popped up, I'm hoping it's the reverse.
But just because he just now kind of popped up doesn't mean he wasn't out there.
So he may have met Cody
He might have
Rhodes
been
at some point.
out there in the stirs.
That's right. Put his stirring powder on the Cody Rhodes and made him do Stardust.
So
you inspired him to do cartwheels.
I wonder if SterDust can do cartwheels.
I'd pay to see that right there. I'll give you $20 you do a damn cartwheel.
SterDust cartwheel.
It's got to be all the way over. Now some rolling on your belly and then get up. That don't count. I can't do one. Did you see his?
I wasn't looking that close.
He was talking about that was him, not me. I'm just.
It was missing, huh?
That thing was a little extra.
Poor SterDust.
I gotta get a little extra.
Yeah. How many people do you think we're gonna see dressed up like SterDust in the crowd?
At least one.
You?
Hell no. I got a lot of colors in my outfits, but purple ain't one of them.
So if you
need to change it.
If you were going to parody SterDust, what color would you have?
Purple.
But you just said you're not going to do purple.
So
you
I got a parody.
color.
How about green?
Green.
Green dust.
Green tea.
I think sometimes after I eat Taco Bell, I got some green dust later on.
Taco Bell. Later, guys.